They called it Iron Field, not because of strength, but because of the bodies. Metal helmets, shattered rifles, tanks torn apart like toys. Everywhere you stepped, the ground remembered someone. War didn't come here, it was born here. And walking through this graveyard of smoke was Lieutenant Rowan Hale, a man whose soul had already been fighting long before the war began. Rowan knew tomorrow would be hell. The enemy had taken the northern ridge, trapping 150 villagers in the valley. The command had one order: retrieve the civilians. If extraction fails, eliminate the ridge. Rowan asked the officer, "What about the villagers?" The answer cut deeper than any bullet: collateral. That was the night Rowan stopped sleeping. Before dawn, Rowan met an old woman hiding in a broken farmhouse. Her hands trembled, her eyes were filled with silent storms. She whispered, "Please, my son is up there. Promise me you'll bring him back." Rowan didn't know how to lie anymore. So he said nothing, just held her shaking hands. He hated war for turning men into ghosts, and mothers into beggars. The climb to the ridge was steep, muddy, and alive with distant gunfire. Rowan's squad, 6 men, moved through the fog like shadows. Every step felt heavier than the one before it. Somewhere up the hill, Rowan heard a child crying. The sound broke something inside him. When they reached the top, they found a nightmare. The enemy hadn't captured the villagers, they had gathered them. Men tied with rope, women gagged, children hidden under blankets, shaking. A soldier whispered, "Lieutenant, what do we do?" Rowan didn't answer. Sometimes the right choice is the one that destroys you. The fight was not a battle, it was a purge. Rowan charged with a rage he couldn't control. Gunshots tore through the cold air. Screams echoed off the rocks. Blood soaked into the mud, turning the ridge into a red river. Rowan moved like a man who no longer feared death, because he had already lost himself. When the gunfire stopped, the enemy lay silent. But so did 2 of Rowan's own men. Rowan ran to the survivors. The old woman's son, a boy no older than 10, sat alone under a blanket, shaking violently. Rowan knelt beside him. The child asked, "Are we safe now?" Rowan wanted to say yes, but another explosion shook the valley. The enemy reinforcements were coming. He picked the boy up and whispered, "I'll try." Rowan ordered his remaining soldiers to take the villagers and run. His voice was steady, too steady. Like a man who had finally made peace with dying. The boy held onto Rowan's sleeve. "Please, don't stay here." Rowan gently removed the child's fingers. "Tell your mother, I kept my promise." Those were his last soft words. When his men disappeared into the fog, Rowan walked back toward the ridge, alone. His silhouette looked like a shadow marching into hell. The enemy appeared in waves, dark shapes moving through smoke and ash. Rowan didn't hide. He stepped into the open, raised his rifle, and fired the first shot. A challenge, a declaration, a death sentence. The ridge became a slaughterhouse. Bullets tore through Rowan's coat. Shrapnel ripped across his face. Blood ran down his uniform like dark paint. But he didn't stop. Every time he fired, another enemy fell. Every time he staggered, he forced himself to stand again. He fought with the rage of a man who had nothing left to lose, and the heart of a man who refused to let innocents die. But even heroes bleed. A final explosion shook the ridge, throwing Rowan into a broken trench. His rifle slipped from his hand. He could no longer move his legs. As enemy soldiers closed in, Rowan lay on his back, staring at the cold, indifferent sky. He whispered, "Let them live. Take me, but let them live." For the first time in years, Rowan cried. Hours later, Rowan's squad returned with reinforcements. They found the ridge silent, too silent. No gunfire, no screams, no movement, just bodies, dozens of them, and Rowan, lying in the center of the carnage. His eyes were still open, his hand still reaching toward the path where the villagers had escaped. But the darkest part wasn't his death. It was what they found beside him. A small handprint, a child's, pressed into the dried blood on Rowan's chest. The boy had come back. He tried to save Rowan, and died beside him, both of them, gone. They buried Rowan and the boy together under a single stone. No names, no ranks, only two words carved into cold granite: debt paid. But Ironfield never forgot. Soldiers say that on stormy nights, you can see two figures at the top of the ridge, a tall shadow holding a rifle, and a small one standing beside him. Guarding the valley, forever. Not heroes, not martyrs, just two souls the war refused to set free.